不声不响不痛不痒，每当我拉着月亮想打醉一场，他却找出记忆里你的模样，与偶然的冲撞，来去都匆忙，让心走了样，又随即恢复原状。后来除了梦以外，那些老地方，我在夜。
You keep interrupting my game, and I won't go easy on you anymore. On Valentine's Day, surveillance footage from an internet cafe captured this scene. A girlfriend interfering with her boyfriend's gaming, possibly wanting him to go out with her. The result? They started pulling at each other and got into a heated argument. I just want to say, guys, if you're lucky enough to have a girlfriend, cherish her. Is gaming really more important than your girlfriend? These days, finding a girlfriend is so hard.
觉得女朋友重要还是游戏重要？
游戏啊。
为什么是游戏重要？女朋友难道不重要吗？
没有啊，没有女朋友。
那如果你有了女朋友之后，你还会觉得游戏重要吗？
肯定啊。
那如果你的女朋友把你游戏里什么装备啊、皮肤都卖掉了，你会怎么办呢？
抽她。
抽她？
对，往死里抽。往死里抽。
你好，我想问一下，如果在你打游戏的时候，你女朋友突然给你弹视频，你会怎么做？
没有女朋友啊，没有女朋友啊，这可咋整？
那假如你有呢？
挂掉。
直接挂掉吗？
对。
不怕你朋友生气吗？
直男。
不是决赛前的话可以接一下，决赛前的话直接挂掉。
直接挂掉。那你呢？
现在女人总以为自己比游戏重要啊。
自己比游戏重要。
那你觉得游戏比女人重要吗？
肯定呀，他游戏永远陪着你，不可能呀，花完钱就跑。
先生，请问把您关在房间里1个月，电脑和女朋友，你选谁呢？
Do you want to know what I would choose if you locked me in a room for a month and made me pick between a computer and my girlfriend? First, I'd have to ask, is there internet? If there's internet, it might be fine. Then I'd need to know, what's the computer's configuration? You might think this question doesn't matter, but for me, it's crucial. What if the specs are terrible? How could I make that choice? Now, let's say the specs are maxed out. For example, what if the graphics card is an RTX 4090? I could bear that. But what about the RAM? Is it 128 gigabytes? That sounds good. And the CPU? Is it Intel or AMD? All these details would affect my decision. If everything is top-notch, I'd probably choose the computer. Why do I say that? Because all these questions I'm asking make it pretty obvious, don't they? If I wanted to choose my girlfriend, would I even bother asking all these things? Of course not. Clearly, gaming on a high-end computer is more important than a girlfriend. With games, I can play however I want. Girlfriends? Too demanding, too much trouble. I don't want to waste my time.
为什么现在很多男生啊，他们宁愿打游戏，也不去追女生了呢？
Why are many men nowadays spending more time playing video games rather than actively pursuing women? I once watched a video about the story of a married man. After work, he didn't rush home. Instead, he parked his car downstairs and sat inside, smoking and playing video games, refusing to go upstairs. His wife saw this scene from the window and thought, maybe he'll come home after resting for a while. However, 2 hours passed, and the man was still in the car, showing no intention of going back upstairs. Finally, his wife couldn't hold back her frustration. She stormed downstairs and found her husband still sitting in the car. Her first words were, "Why aren't you coming home after work? Is the game more important than me?" To this, the man fired back with one sentence, "Games might not be that important, but at least they don't criticize me every day, making me feel worthless. Games don't boss me around, act high and mighty, or look for trouble with me for no reason. And you? You either tell me I'm not making enough money or force me to sleep on the couch. Tell me, what did I do to deserve this?" At this point, the man sighed and continued, "In games, I have dignity. Everyone is treated fairly. But with you, I don't have even a shred of dignity. At home, I feel like a servant, while you act like an emperor who needs to be carefully served. Every time I come back home, my mood becomes heavy. There's no sense of relaxation or happiness. But games are different. They make me happy and make me feel like I'm still someone with value." Hearing this, his wife felt he was being utterly unreasonable. She fired back, "You think you're tired? Don't you see that I'm tired too? I spend 24 hours a day working for this family. I'm like a free housemaid. Have you ever noticed my efforts?" The couple ended up in a heated argument. Honestly, I partially agree with this man's perspective. Nowadays, many men indeed have a hard time. They work tirelessly to provide a better life for their families. However, many women fail to understand men's sacrifices and don't care about their feelings. Instead, they constantly nitpick, saying things like, "Why are you so useless?" or "Look at how successful other men are." These words can be incredibly demoralizing for men. If you think he's not good enough, why not go out and earn money yourself? If you can't do that, then please show more understanding and less complaining. So, why are men today reluctant to chase women? The reason is simple: the cost of pursuing women is too high. Men not only need to spend money and energy, but even after successfully wooing someone, they often face harsh treatment. In these relationships, men rarely feel any reward. They start to think it's better to enjoy games rather than chasing women. Games bring happiness and occasionally give a sense of achievement. Pursuing women? No rewards at all. A man works hard for you every day, only to be met with mockery and scorn. What's the point of such a relationship? Some men simply choose to stay single, earning money for themselves, spending it as they wish, and playing games every day. Their lives are simple and happy. So ladies, please treat the men in your life kindly. Their lives are far from easy.
你有没有一个爱打游戏的对象？我闺蜜就有一个。
Do you have a boyfriend who loves playing video games? My best friend does, and the funny thing is, while most couples argue over the boyfriend's gaming habits, she feels like she hit the jackpot by finding a great homebody. Here's how she explains it. If your boyfriend loves playing video games, chances are, when he doesn't reply to your messages, he's busy gaming. But if your boyfriend doesn't play games at all, who knows what he's doing when he doesn't reply to you? Thinking about it, there's actually some truth to this. So, if you have a boyfriend who's passionate about gaming, don't complain that he's not romantic enough and spends all his time playing games. Think about it. A guy who comes straight home after work every day is so much better than one who's always nowhere to be found, isn't he? At least he's always home and by your side, and that's actually a comforting thought. Besides, everyone needs some emotional outlet, especially guys, who are often full of energy. Gaming is just a way for them to relieve stress. Isn't that much better than them spending all that excess energy on other women? Honestly, as long as he can put down his game and focus on you whenever you need him, he's already someone worth cherishing. Ladies, seriously, if you're willing to bring him some snacks, fruits, or even a warm cup of milk tea while he's gaming, he'll definitely be deeply touched and treat you even better. Trust me, give it a try. You might find that this small gesture brings unexpected sweetness to your relationship.
真的特别讨厌他打游戏，恨到骨头里面那种。
I really hate it when my husband plays video games. I could say I hate it to the core. We've had countless arguments about it, but every time we fought, nothing ever changed. Once, he went on a business trip to another city for work. That evening, I video called him to check in and found out he was at an internet cafe playing games. At that moment, for the first time, I realized that his gaming actually made me feel at ease, without the usual disgust. In fact, I even felt a bit relieved. If he had been at a bar or somewhere else, I probably would have had the exact opposite reaction. Later, I came to understand that playing video games itself isn't the real problem. It's just like us women enjoying getting our nails done or binge-watching dramas. It's simply a way to pass the time and have some fun. The real issue lies in the timing and the setting. For instance, if I'm busy working or taking care of the kids and he's right there gaming, it makes me so angry that I feel like I'm going to explode. But if the kids and I are already asleep and he's playing at that time, I don't really care. So, I decided to talk to him about it. I said, "Honey, can you wait until the kids are asleep before you play games? Don't play while they're still awake." He thought about it for a moment and found the idea reasonable. After all, the kids are always in bed by 10 p.m., so he would still have at least 2 hours, if not more, to game without anyone bothering him. He agreed quickly. Since then, every night after the kids fall asleep, he starts playing games right on time. To make me happy, he even went out of his way to buy me a foldable foot bath bucket. And every time I use it, he even helps fetch the water. Now every day, I soak my feet for 20 minutes while listening to my favorite music, reading a book, or catching up on a drama. The entire process feels like a little ritual. My mood has improved significantly, I sleep better, and even my complexion has brightened. Most importantly, We haven't argued about his gaming since. Now, not only do we each have our own personal time, but we've also gained a new level of mutual respect. The days of me yelling at him for gaming and him getting furious are long gone. When I'm in a good mood, I even thoughtfully brew him a cup of hot tea, and he's overjoyed. In the end, I realize that, many times, people get angry simply to vent emotions, without truly reflecting on the root of the problem. I used to be like this too, letting emotions take over and over time, becoming a hostage to my own negativity. As a result, not only were problems left unsolved, but they often got worse. However, when you can pinpoint the real issue and resolve it, not only can the problem be alleviated, but your relationship can also grow stronger. So, I hope every woman in the world can be treated with gentleness, and I hope every relationship can find its balance.
老公打游戏不？反正呢，我是真的很讨厌我老公打游戏了哈。
Do you get annoyed when your husband plays video games? Well, I am completely fed up with my husband's gaming habits. He doesn't have many bad habits. He doesn't smoke or drink, but he's obsessed with playing video games. Every day after work, he can skip meals, water, and sleep, but he must play a few rounds of games. Even when he's so tired that he can barely keep his eyes open, and his body is utterly exhausted, he still grips his phone tightly, gaming as if his life depends on it. Keeping his phone on silent is normal, and sometimes, even if you talk to him, he acts like he didn't hear a thing, completely tuning out my voice. Forget about asking him to help with anything. Sometimes I call out to him multiple times, almost losing my voice, but he doesn't respond. Even if he eventually helps out, it's just half-heartedly, with his eyes still glued to the screen and his hands never stopping. I remember one time he stayed up all night playing games, and the next morning he complained about having a headache and asked me to take the kids to school. At that moment, I was absolutely furious. I really wanted to grab his phone and uninstall every single game from it. I often tell him, if you could channel the same energy and dedication you put into gaming into earning money, we could probably afford several apartments in the city center by now. Every time I say this, he just laughs it off and never takes it seriously. I used to think that women like me, tormented by their husband's gaming addiction, were rare. But after looking online, I found that plenty of other women share my struggles. What's even more outrageous is that some people in the comments said, if you're going to marry someone, marry a man who loves gaming. They even seriously argued that men who love gaming make the best husbands. When I read this, I almost burst out laughing. I just want to ask, are you really not joking? In short, my husband's gaming obsession has become a thorn in my side, leaving me irritated and restless every day. I'm not saying he can't play games, but there should at least be some boundaries, right? I really want to know, how many women out there are just as frustrated and helpless as I am because of their husband's gaming? And if anyone has a way to get him to quit gaming, I'd be so grateful if you could share it with me.
你的老公40岁了，每天就知道打游戏，什么也不干，也不努力，也不上进。
Many women often complain that their husbands, already 40 years old, spend their days only playing video games, without taking care of serious matters, making no effort and lacking ambition. They even play games until midnight, sometimes until 1 or 2 in the morning. Despite countless arguments and repeated reminders, it seems to have no effect at all. Moreover, these men are still relying on their parents, which makes people extremely anxious and hopeless. First, we need to understand one crucial point. Men remain boys at heart until the end of their lives. This statement is essential. Many men start playing video games during their school days, and for them, games often carry the dream of living in a martial arts world. In the virtual world, they can experience the thrill and freedom of being a hero. Even after getting married, having a wife and children, and needing to work to support the family, they still prefer to immerse themselves in the gaming world after work. This is a hobby that is hard to change. In reality, besides gaming, many men have other hobbies, such as soaking in hot baths, playing cards, drinking, chatting, tinkering with cars, collecting watches, or riding motorcycles. These are all forms of entertainment. From a cost perspective, gaming is actually one of the more economical pastimes. You might not realize it, but most men who are addicted to gaming are quite reliable. Why do I say this? They often hand over the majority of their salary to their wives. For instance, if they earn 5,800 yuan a month, they might give you 5,000 yuan and keep only 800 yuan for themselves. Moreover, they usually come home on time, lock themselves in their little rooms, and sometimes even cook meals and take care of the kids before indulging in 1 or 2 hours of gaming. In this light, do you still think playing games is entirely wrong? On the other hand, think about it. When men accompany you shopping, spending an entire afternoon carrying bags or ending up buying nothing at all, don't they feel it's a waste of time? From their perspective, this kind of pastime might be just as wasteful as playing games. Men and women simply have different ways of unwinding. Compared to other hobbies such as eating out, drinking, playing cards, or soaking in baths, which of these doesn't cost more than gaming? A single night of playing cards could cost a month's or even 2 months' salary. Would you let him do that? By comparison, gaming is truly cost-effective and safe. Moreover, many gamers are actually quite resourceful. In the game, buying a rare item like an excellent sword might cost 10,000 yuan, but one day they could resell it for 20,000 yuan. When that happens, he might even use the money to buy you a handbag. Isn't that wonderful? Gaming and a lack of ambition are two different things. Especially in recent years, the economic situation has been challenging. Many hardworking and ambitious men have ended up losing 200,000 or even 2 million yuan due to failed ventures or investments, leaving them heavily in debt and sometimes with broken families. Doing business is inherently risky, with a high chance of failure. Are you sure you can handle such consequences? Meanwhile, those who don't venture into business and stick to steady jobs may not earn much, but they're working within their capabilities. Under the current economic conditions, expecting a dramatic turnaround through sheer effort alone is unrealistic. Success requires a combination of factors, not just hard work. Even if your husband succeeds in business, he'll likely spend even less time with you and the kids. By then, you might start complaining, you only care about making money and don't care about this family. Have you forgotten your wife and kids? Whether men are making money or playing games, someone is always dissatisfied. But if a man can come home on time, spend time with his family, and then enjoy a little gaming time in his own small world, isn't that a form of happiness? To play games, men often try to keep you happy. They usually agree to your requests. They just hope to have 1 or 2 hours of personal time during which they can be alone. What else can an ordinary man earning 5,800 yuan a month do after work? Deliver food? Drive a taxi? Are you trying to work him to death? He's your husband, not a money-making machine. In fact, women often hope for an easy job, like one with weekends off, insurance, and a salary of 3,500 yuan per month. So why be so demanding of men? Besides, many men play games as a form of escapism. They might be dealing with challenges like job loss, failed ventures, or low spirits. This temporary low point requires time to adjust, and gaming happens to be a cost-effective way to relax. This process usually doesn't last long, ranging from a few months to about a year. Once he adjusts, he'll wake up and bounce back. When you chose him initially, it was because you loved him. Resentment or rejection during his low point will only worsen the relationship. Offering more support and encouragement while he goes through this phase will help him recover faster. When he gets through it, he'll undoubtedly rise again.
Why do so many men prefer playing video games to pursuing girls? Perhaps it has something to do with the expectations girls have for them. Girls often want boys to be both handsome and loyal, reliable men who aren't playboys. They want them to achieve success in their careers while not being so busy with work that they neglect them. These standards may sound ideal, but for boys, they can feel like an invisible pressure. In contrast, pursuing girls requires not only effort and money, but also facing the embarrassment of rejection and emotional setbacks. Video games, however, are different. They provide a sense of accomplishment without the complexities of real-life relationships. Instead of risking rejection in the pursuit of a girl, many boys find simple and pure happiness in video games. This reflects the genuine thoughts of many men. In fact, the challenges men face in life are not much different from those of women. In the workplace, they encounter unfair treatment just as women do. In relationships, they experience emotional confusion. And in daily life, they face economic pressures as well. However, women can often alleviate societal expectations with the phrase, "I'm a woman," while men are more often expected to respond with, "I'm a man," and shoulder greater responsibilities. Life is not easy for men, Only in the quiet hours of the night, when they immerse themselves in a video game, can they temporarily forget all the pressures of life. In those moments, they are completely relaxed. Although video games cannot truly solve real-world problems, men don't play video games just to seek thrills in virtual battles. They simply long for a peaceful space to do something they enjoy, even if it's just a brief escape. This fleeting serenity is incredibly precious to them. So perhaps video games aren't the root of the problem, but rather a small refuge they create for themselves amid the pressures of reality. Understanding their choice may be more important than merely criticizing them. Do you enjoy playing video games? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us, and we'll continue to bring you better content. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.